Hey folks, welcome back. So today we are going to be doing some electrical work down here at the Millhouse, and our project is to wire in an outlet for the welder. Now, for the uninformed who hasn't ever had to deal with a welder before, your standard outlet here in the US of A is going to be probably a 15 or 20 amp circuit, and it's going to be running on about 110 volts. Now, for a welder, something that's kind of a full-size welder, it's going to be running on a 50 amp circuit and running on 220 volts. So in other words, you got to put in a special circuit, special plug, special wire, all that kind of stuff for wiring in for a welder. Now, as you can see, we've got our circuit panel right behind me, and we are actually going to be putting our outlet on this side of this post right here. And for reference, the stairs going up into the loft area are right on the other side of this wall. So this is kind of the side you drive in. This is the front of the mill house, back of the mill house, just for kind of to get you oriented as far as where we are. All right, folks, well, as you saw, we kind of ran out of light last night, but we've got this outlet in, and I don't know if you can see it from your angle, but we've got the plug in there. Now, it's not fully connected in yet. We've got the wire running up to here, and then we've got our wire from our breaker coming up, and both ends meet up here, but they are not connected yet, because we are going to connect in one more wire that's going to head over to the middle, and then from there, we're going to run that up through the floor into the loft. Now, I already know that some of you are going to go, whoa, 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 you're going to do welding up in the loft. Don't you think that's kind of dangerous? Yeah, it might be. I think I would be very careful about how I did it, as well as the type of welding that I was doing as well, because certain types tend to have more splatter than other types. So I'd probably be very cautious about the type of welding I did up there. And if I were doing any large amount of it, I would probably come down here to do it regardless. But it gives me an option. I figure as long as I'm doing this stuff, I might as well run one up there. And that way, if I need it, I've got it. All right, so we got those two more or less wired up and ready to go. I need to grab some sort of a different connector to hook those together. It's 6-gauge wire, and I don't have anything that's quite that large to connect ends together. But that's going to be a fairly easy thing to finish off later on. Now, originally I was planning on putting in like 1 or 2 more receptacles for the 50 amp than what I'm doing now. And part of that would be for down here at ground level, if I'm working, say, on the truck, instead of having to, if I need to get to both sides of the truck, one option would be to get some extension cords or something like that. Another one would just be to put, say, another receptacle on the other side of the mill house. And then if I'm working on both sides, I can just move the welder from one side to the other, move it from one outlet to the other without having to physically, move the truck around and have it pulled in the opposite direction. However, right now, pretty much every time I get to the checkout counter at Lowe's, I have a mini heart attack because the prices of things are just absolutely obscene. So I decided that, one is going to be enough for the time being, and then maybe in another year or two, hopefully some of these prices are going to come back down and we can maybe get another 1 or 2 outlets down here, and it'll cost slightly less. Now, as you may have noticed, where we put the outlet is right beside where Rusty, the 69 Land Cruiser, is currently sitting. So what we're going to do is, this back area is already kind of cleared out. We've got a few more things to move out of the way, and then we're going to hook up to Rusty. We're going to pull that back into this back area here. That way the front spot where our outlet is open, and then if we need to pull the truck in to do some work on that space will be freed up. All right, we're gonna try getting this thing finished up over here, getting our wires connected. I picked up some new wire nuts. These things are huge. And even then, these are, I think, just barely gonna be big enough to join these 6-gauge wires together. I already tried one. It seems to be all right, so we're gonna go ahead and do the rest of these, but it was the biggest ones I could find. I wouldn't have minded having something bigger than that, but this was the biggest that I could even find, like, anywhere. So let's get to work, see if we can't get this thing wrapped up. Alrighty folks, I think that does it for this project. We got those little junction boxes closed up and we got our wires connected. I'm still waiting on the power company to come over and hook my service up. Hopefully that'll be the end of this week. I'm not entirely counting on that. I kind of think that it may be next week before they get over here, but I can hope. I can hope. So anywho, that is gonna do it for this week's video. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next time.